What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over why I always use the Thunderburst in Fortnite Chapter 7 Season 2. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, find it helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, comment down below which spray weapon is your favorite this season, and if you guys would like to use my code in the shop when getting anything, it is EvolvedJake, just like my channel name is, and it is underneath the webcam at all times. So, I've been asked a good amount this season, not only which spray weapon I prefer, but also in some of my videos, I've had people timestamp certain moments and like, hey, at this point you used a green Thunderburst over like a purple combat AR. Or in my most recent Inside the Mine video, I was using a gray Thunderburst over the mythic Nemesis AR, which might be a bit excessive, but I think the Thunderburst is that much better than every other spray weapon for how this season plays. And I've talked about this a lot in several different videos, but jumping accuracy matters a lot this season because of how fights play with the 7 power gloves. A lot of fights are going to be you pushing the enemy with these gloves and uppercutting them, and so you're both in the air, or an enemy pushing you and trying to uppercut you. And in both of those situations, whenever you're in the air, basically, you have the jumping accuracy for your weapon. And a lot of weapons have a much larger spread when jumping, which can make it harder to hit shots consistently in these moments. And these are often going to be make or break fights. If you're getting gloved or you're gloving an enemy, that's typically a fight that fight is going to happen until one of you eliminates the other. When it comes to that point, there might be like a few situations where you can escape and reset. But most of the time, if you're gloving an enemy or getting gloved, that fight is just happening. And so the accuracy of your weapon matters in those moments and can be the deciding factor in winning or losing that fight. And then again, winning or losing the game because of that. The Thunderburst SMG is pretty much always accurate, whether like perfectly accurate, whether you're aiming or hip firing. There is incredibly minimal bloom on this weapon, and it makes it perfect for those situations. You can jump around and fight, you can overdrive nade on an enemy and shoot them, you can glove up in the air and shoot down. Whatever you got to do, it doesn't matter. The accuracy of this weapon is going to be perfect, and with how frequently these in-air fights happen, you're going to have a distinct advantage over everyone else because of that accuracy that you gain. So it's mainly the accuracy that makes it good, but the weapon in of itself is also just an incredible weapon. It complements shotguns is really good, especially the Chaos Shotgun having only one shot. If you miss your shot or don't hit very hard for whatever reason, being able to swap to the Thunderburst and have something that has incredible damage output in close range, it's almost like a mini shotgun in a way. We'll get to that in a moment. But the damage potential, fire rate, and mag size of this weapon in close range fights can help you in those situations where your Chaos Shotgun misses, doesn't hit hard, or maybe you're getting third-partied. You know, there's a lot of times where you have to end up using your spray weapon a lot more, especially if you're using the Chaos Shotgun that has only one shot. And I feel like this does that better than the other spray weapons. If I'm going to shoot my shotgun and then swap to like the Nemesis AR, the Nemesis AR might be seen to be better at long range because of its damage and range. But swapping to that in a spray situation doesn't feel that great. And even at very long range, the accuracy of the Thunderburst SMG is so much better that's why I would rather take it. A lot of times what makes shotguns seem to be good in Fortnite is just the immediate damage. You shoot one shot and you're dealing like 100 damage. And this burst is a burst weapon, but shooting one burst can deal like close to 100 damage if you hit every shot, especially if you're hitting headshots. And so it's similar to a shotgun in a way that you just quickly throw out a bunch of damage. And that pairs very well in fights where you're swapping back and forth because it's not quite double pump, but it's somewhat similar to double pump where you're alternating between two really high damage potential weapons. So a lot of times with the Chaos Shotgun, you'll shoot and then have to shoot, I think, like 3 bursts of the Thunderburst SMG. With the Iron Pump, I think you could shoot 2 and then swap back. But you can play it very similar to double pump in the sense that you're just shotgun shot, throwing out bursts, shotgun shot, throwing out bursts. And it can function somewhat similar to a ranged shotgun in that way too, which is another reason I really like it. We've seen a lot of people kind of gassing the Shredder shotgun because it has a lot of range, and you can use this to play cover well in mid-range. Like you can peek for a millisecond, throw out your shot, deal your damage. Even if you don't get very much damage, you were peeking for a very limited amount of time. And you could do the same exact thing with the Thunderburst because you only have to shoot a burst and then dip back into cover. And then the same is true when you're like chasing enemies. I've seen the Shredder shotgun be kind of gassed for that reason because you can easily hit shots and deal okay damage even at range in situations where you're gloving after an enemy or overdrive nading after an enemy that's running away. The Thunderburst SMG can do basically the same thing because its range is good, its fire rate is good, and its hipfire is perfectly accurate. In these situations, it's not as easy to hit a shot as a shotgun is. Part of what makes the shotguns have a lot of value here is just that it's very easy to hit the opponent at all, and your aim needs to be good to capitalize on the accuracy of the Thunderburst. If your aim isn't very good, the fact that it has no spread at all might make it kind of harder for you, because sometimes with Bloom, you might hit lucky shots, whereas with this Thunderburst, that's not really going to be as much of a factor. But if your aim is on point, you're going to be hitting shots on the enemy, and this makes it very good in those situations too. Your aim needs to be better than a shotgun, but you can use it very similarly to how you would a ranged shotgun. And the final thing I want to talk about is going to be the pistol, because the pistol is also very good. And the main reason why I don't take the pistol is just going to be magazine size. And this can be a problem in a few different ways, because the pistol only has like 15 or 16 rounds, I think, and that can go kind of quick. It does reload fast, so there's that to kind of benefit you. But in certain situations, you don't have the opportunity to reload, like especially those close range fight situations I outlined. And when using the pistol, it's a great weapon. If you prefer the pistol, that's fine. It's incredibly good. But when using the pistol, I feel like I would get in a lot of situations where, like, let's say an enemy is pushing me, like maybe they got shots at me, I overdrive to cover, and then they're pushing me to kind of pressure their damage, right? In a lot of situations, I would want to like try to beam the enemy as they're on their way to me and kind of neutralize that HP advantage they have. And you can do that and it works well. But a lot of times that would create situations where I'm running out of ammo in the fight. So I'm spraying them as they're pushing me. We get close, we have a shotgun fight, I shoot my shotgun, and then I'm trying to swap to the spray, and the pistol just isn't reloaded anymore, or it barely has any ammo left, and that creates a problem. And again, it reloads quick, but in those situations, you don't really have time to reload, right? Situations where you're getting third-partied, if you're having a chaotic close-range fight and then getting third-partied, the spray weapon running out of ammo can really matter there. Also, whenever you're dealing with enemy cars, which happen sometimes this season, if I'm trying to spray out an enemy's car and destroy it, a lot of times I would have to reload several times over with the pistol, and potentially I destroy the car and then have no ammo left to kind of carry the fight out. Like, again, it reloads quickly, but there's a lot of fights where like you have very minimal amount of time, and in those situations, the Thunderburst having just slightly better magazine size, I feel like I noticed a lot when playing this season, because early on this season and initially, I was actually much preferring the pistol, and I feel like the aim assist is actually much stronger on the pistol. But the amount of situations I would get in where that magazine size would actually be a problem for me is what kind of swayed me to using the Thunderburst. And the accuracy of the pistol is really good. The jumping accuracy of the pistol is really good, but nothing is as accurate as the Thunderburst SMG. So the pistol does fine, but it's just always going to be less accurate than the Thunderburst, because the Thunderburst is basically perfectly accurate. And if you get used to hip firing this weapon well, especially when chasing enemies or in those in-air fights, you're going to be able to melt people down incredibly good. And in any sort of glove fight situation, there's no spray weapon I would rather have than the Thunderburst. And sometimes that might mean I'm using a low rarity Thunderburst over a higher rarity other weapon, but the way the weapon plays matters more to me than rarity most of the time. And I would, even if you hate the Thunderburst, that's fine. In general, I would kind of recommend using what you enjoy using, especially if it caters to a certain playstyle. Because if you're constantly changing the items that you're using and trying to force them into the playstyle that you want, it might not work as good. So the Combat AR is a great weapon, but it doesn't complement the playstyle I want to have this season. And so I would rather use the weapon that complements that well, even if it is lower rarity. So a lot of times, and in most seasons, I'm using the weapons I want to use. Eventually, I'll get better rarity versions if I really care about it that much from the vending machines or the rivalry boards. But most of the time, the item matters a lot more than rarity, especially if it, is something that you just enjoy more or fits your playstyle a lot better. But let me know what spray weapon is your favorite this season. As always, if you guys did find this to be helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you would like to see more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.